Welcome back to Conversations in Data, the podcast where we talk about data and how it's shaping the way businesses see the world. I'm Lisa Michaeli, the VP of Marketing at Techsalerator, and today we're talking about something that's changing fast under all of our feet, how people actually find things online. For 20 plus years, the game was SEO, rank on Google, get the click, but now a huge chunk of discovery is happening inside AI answers, ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity. There's no page one, no 10 blue links, just one answer. If your brand isn't that answer, you don't exist. My guest today has built a company around exactly that problem. He's a serial entrepreneur with 2 exits already under his belt in data automation and cloud services. And now he's the founder and CEO of IGEO, a platform helping brands understand, measure, and improve how they show up across AI search. And this one hits close to home for us. Techsalerator is a global data hub. We provide licensed business and consumer data across 195 countries. So how AI systems find, trust, and cite information sits right at the center of what we do too. So please welcome Orel Ohayon. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, perfect. Thank
So
you for having
Orel,
me. It's a pleasure.
yes, thank you for joining us. So before we get into it, before we get into IGEO, can you give us a quick version of how you built yourself and your backgrounds and what's the through line between the businesses you exited and what you're doing now?
Okay. I love starting talking about myself. Uh, so business for me and all of time it was around democratize how we can take technology, bring it to the people and see how they can benefit from this one. Because most of the time the biggest company have, the more resources and the control and the small one is not getting none of this. So my first one was actually in my 20s, in my early 20s. I was 20 years old and we create automation for weddings and conferences in Tel Aviv. The company was funded in Tel Aviv because we saw a huge gap in this weddings event of how people invited their guests and how much money they lost. And we can automate those things. It turned to be a huge hit for a quick time. And our way to distribute us was with SEO. So also with the success of our client, so they can see it in the entrance and say, "Hey, wait a minute, I want this one as well." So this is what's like it, still today, my channel of marketing and distribution is word to mouth and also this digital way. It's like community. And so this was the first one and it's expand to be for conferences and automation for conferences. And then we bought a digital marketing firm. And because it was like so successful and I got this one till today, this PWM. So this one made a very good run. And fortunately, after two and a half years, we sell this company. When you build a brand, you build something is a part of you. You need to know how to let go. But I'm more sentimental and I see it as like part of me. So it's like,
Yeah, totally.
yeah, so it's hard. You build a brand and you want to stick with this as long as you can. So I learned from this one. And my second one was I just saw that the operation in the company, but I kept the company. So this one was in 2022 when we built this like post-corona time. We had a very strong team of developers, more than 80 developers that we helped the big firm that like explode after the COVID. And then we sold the operation for this one. And this is something that built for like many, many years. But with all this information and know how to deploy scale company that turned to be unicorn and also work in several unicorn was one of them. I was in the founding team is Hi Bob. And so I saw how you can scale a company, how you build a brand, how you do all of this. Like one of them, I was pretty young, but this was the internet revolution. I saw this one happening. And then I was a part of the SaaS revolution when I started to be a developer. And then you saw the mobile revolution. I was in Ono Apps. I was a team lead. And I saw the mobile revolution and then I saw the AI and I said like, I can't sit apart. I need to be part of this. And the AI search come up. We have lots of knowledge in this one. We know how to tackle this. And we had our first client was a major one right away. paying customers. So you know you're in the right field, you know you do something well, you know how to approach to do all of those things. So IGEO was a big success from day one in this field.
Yeah, so you really saw it happening. What was the moment you realized that really that I understand that you wanted to ride the AI wave, but when did you notice that search itself was changing and that you needed to apply AI to search and not just improve search, but actually revolutionize? When was the point that you realized that? I know you said
So
you were ahead of the curve, but what was like, guess when did the light switch on?
wow, it's a funny story. I love to do this because when my team, the developers said to me, listen, we don't go anymore to Google to search. We search in ChatGPT. This is our working environment. They ask for, solution for developer. The joke was before they use Stack Overflow to check coding stuff and all of this. And in the moment that Chat was released, like this platform was like wiped out. And the team said, I don't use it anymore. This is our working environment. And I said, okay, it's not a case study because developers are very cutting edge. It's not, the common folk. But when I said, okay, there is something here, it put a spark in my head and, my cogwheels start to think. And of course, you go to McKinsey or all the other firms to check the numbers and you say, okay, there's a movement. But then I went to my dad. And my dad is Orthodox Jewish guy. I didn't know how to turn it in computer like 3 years ago. But then I went to ask him, like, dude, dad, do you use ChatGPT? And then he answered like, Chappy is my best friend. I'm like, can I check out your searches? And then I saw the guy search for anything, like in any, and then I say, okay, this is not in a big scale, but I say like, okay, if this one touch, because there was like a chain of reaction. Okay, there was the internet and then there was the mobile that put like this strong tool in everyone's hand. And then this AI come with, and it's like integrated in your mobile. And then everyone have like the connection to this huge brain and this search. So then I said like, okay, now everything has changed. Now this like the monopoly was broken, the new searches arrive, and then it's everywhere. I think 6 months or 8 months later, there was big research in Israel. We're talking about is because Israel is like now the number one country per capita by use with AI. 92% of the population use AI and AI search.
That's
So
crazy. Oh my
that's
God.
crazy, right? It's like 10
Unbelievable.
million people.
Wow.
Then
I think also in Israel, it was one of the first countries to adopt to having a cell phone. More people had a cell phone in Israel at a rapid pace than any other country.
yeah, it's something like this. And Palantir CEO said, and I'm agree. Right now, we're located in Cyprus. We're a Cypriot company, our R&D in Tel Aviv, and now we
Mhm.
expand to New York. But there
Nice.
is three global Silicon Valley in the world. Of course, one of them, the first one is United States. The second one is China, and the third one is Israel. The R&D there is so good, and the people consume technology right away. So the reason it's a great hub and a great ecosystem to start to build your product, to test it, and then to launch it to the States because it's a great ecosystem and also to adoption of technology and all of this. But so this was the pivotal moment, if you ask. And then we ran to the start to write code, go to our clients, and ship our product.
So I wanted for our audience to better understand what is generative engine optimization. How is it different from traditional SEO? I understand that if AI is involved, but can you go a little bit more into detail
Yeah,
as to
yeah, of
what the
course.
differences are?
So GEO is generative engine optimization, and this is other term they use. We're gonna elaborate on this. Is the practice is helping brand to be visible, trusted, and recommended in the AI search. So traditional SEO asks, how do we rank higher in the search result? And GEO asks, how do we become part of the answer?
Mhm.
So this is in short, and for my explanation and how it make it so different. So SEO was a competition to appear in the page of the 10 blue links, right?
Right.
And then the user still made his wind shopping kind of. He need to do his research, enter to each site, see which site looks better, and talk to him, do the research. So Geo is different. Geo is like someone asked what is the best CRM for 20% sales team, and
Mhm.
he's got a paragraph with the answer with like two, three, up to five answers. Like this is the short list, and one of them is the recommendation. He said, this is what most recommended for you, and this is where the highest conversion turned to be. And you have other solution. But
Mhm.
if you appear there, you in the answer, that's it. You get
The goal, right?
conversion. Yeah, that's the holy grail. Exactly.
Yeah. So in order to get to that top list, where is GEO pulling from? Is it a citation? It's a mention, it's a recommendation, or it's all of the above? Like, where is it pulling all this information from? Because it all started with SEO pulling from the websites and I guess a few recommendation sites, but I'm assuming that GEO goes deeper. And so I guess my question is just where are they pulling this information from exactly?
Yeah.
Normal.
So it depends which model is, and
Mhm.
it depends on your industry. Yeah, it depends on the industry, and it depends if the company is like a B2B or a B2C company. And then it's like the social media there's a big effect, because if it's a B2B company, LinkedIn will be more relevant and you're gonna get data from there. And of course, ChatGPT have the biggest commercial, content with content agreement with Reddit. So Reddit is a very strong source, but in the UGC area, Reddit, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Medium, G2, and there is many. So it's depend. You need to scan your site. It's also depend by region. So which site? So this question go. It's what does a winning actually look like in AI answers? Right. So it starts with there is a hierarchy in like our side. The first one is the citation.
Mhm.
It's valuable because it's positioning your company as a source of information. So
Mhm.
this is very fundamental to build all the information.
I'm just as you know, I'm also in marketing, so
Yeah,
that's what I'm spending my time on is just, showing our customers that we are not only delivering a certain product, but also we're really wise. We really know this industry and we can actually act as the lighthouse. And I think I'm assuming and I believe that AI wants to see that too, that you're not just selling something, you're actually providing real value for your customers
Yeah, exactly.
beyond just delivering what it is they need, but going beyond.
No use anymore to you remember all those like many landing page. It was like company did for like, performance and all the ads and all of this that you so there's no meaning to this in AI. You need to build like a strong website with all your project, all your products, testimonials, ranking, all the information in one place, build a very strong, because this is the database of the engines, the AI. So
Mhm,
this is the source, it gather all the information. So you want everything structured right in one place, and it's your product. But this is 30% of your brand, your website. The rest is all your social and how you present and how many times your brand name appears in the right way, in the right voice. So this is the the second part is the mention. Mention is stronger because the AI recognize your brand as relevant to the topic.
mhm,
So then if we take LinkedIn, for example, that there is like LinkedIn Pulse, it's the articles or posts there, or other sites that you create content there, and there is like listicle and comparison between you and other. So this is the place that gathers the data as well as Reddit and all the rest.
mhm,
So to gather all this data, you need like platform like ours, to run those prompts, to run your company in the region that you working on, or the region that you want to go to, as a go-to market tool to see how you present there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you think that other countries are leaning into AI search as much as the more developed nations? Like, I know that the US and Israel, and you said China are using AI at a rapid pace. Is it consistent throughout majority of other locations, or what are you saying?
It's absolutely a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like it's everywhere.
Yeah.
We see it with our clients, of course, and you also we thought because Europe, they're more strict with all the privacy and all of this, but they like adopt it way faster because it's the agents and, content and all of this that
Yeah.
comes from AI and not spying on humans.
Right.
So it's definitely everywhere. We talk about Israel, but it's all over the Middle East. And what make it so strong is the language. Many country and users want to keep their language.
Hmm.
Of course, the States, because it's in English and there is much more cited support English, so it's easy. But
Hmm.
for AI, people can use their native language, and in it's every field. Of course, like B2B was the first to adopt, but is that the number one was traveling in the beginning, the top industry, then retail for comparing and search for the product, and the third one was banking. But this is like the top industry. And we're
Yeah,
talking
and
about
I'm
20.
assuming when it comes to banking, they need the data quality and structure to be
Yeah.
really perfect. So, I guess my next question was how much of winning at GEO comes down to the underlying data and content architecture versus the writing itself? How important is the data, do you think?
The data is everything. So first of all, you need to not expose but show up your data, because that's what AI do is work as a schematic way, is compare you against other. And it's surprising if we talk about banking, people want to check where's the best place for me to get a loan. I want a car loan, which one give me the best rate? And
Mhm.
this is something that like the bank keep like at the back, at the back end, start calculating with us and go ahead. And some other company also hide this because they don't want to see the pricing. So some company put themselves in this like premium mode and all of this, but you need to put your information outside, show the data. So you need to create the battle card, you against your competition. You need to show your pricing, your terms, everything. So the data is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I was also going to ask, do you have any examples of a brand that went from invisible to consistently cited once they cleaned up how their content and data were structured? Did you see a huge jump after they decided to be more organized with their
Yeah,
data?
I, I have a great example with one of our early clients. He was number one in SEO and all of this, but his result in AI was way different. In Gemini, AI mode and all of this was great because the practice around Gemini and all the Google brand is very similar to SEO, but ChatGPT and Perplexity and the rest, it wasn't there. And ChatGPT is the number one for B2C. Traffic is like they generate, there is more than 1 billion search per month.
What's the number one for B2B?
It depends again with the industry,
Mhm.
but Claude is very strong. Gemini, Copilot, it depends on what industry and what is your target audience. If you're aiming to enterprise, so enterprise live inside Gemini and Copilot because
Right.
they use like, yeah,
They
they use
change.
Google Workspace and
Mhm.
Microsoft, and then they get it out of the box and they have to use it. So for security reason and all of this, but
Yes.
a lot of use Claude,
Mhm.
but still the traffic, and I can say here the number one traffic generated is from ChatGPT. Yeah, all
Okay.
of it.
Good to
ChatGPT
know.
is the, yeah, number one. So we scan all of them, of course.
Okay. Yeah, can you give us a little bit more detail on how your technology works?
Yeah, of course. So what we are doing, and it's very important, is to scrape the chat with clean data and clean information. And we go every 24 hours with the structure that we have to build that we are building that the prompt based on the topic and the product of the client in the origin that they operate in. And then we go out with the API proxy and we scan the chat with all the content there is inside. So we get clean message and clean answer of the result of the search for the specific company. Then we analyze those searches and we see the gap analysis and where we need to optimize the search, because we see where is the sources coming through, the citation and all of this. And we saw how you was ranking against your competitor. And for the client side, it's very straightforward and easy, because you go there, you see I was this amount of mentions and how I was visible or recommended. And our mission is to put them in the recommendation part and to build the performance of the brand. And then you get the recommendation, you need to implement them in his different channel, if it's talk like the Reddit, Insight, or offsite of his website. So it's ongoing thing. The competition is all the time. So it's not one time and there is like technical part that you need to do with your website. There is all the content that you need to optimize and all the content that you need to maintain and create outside of your website
Okay.
and all
Wait,
the
so you
sources.
guys are giving the recommendations, but who's actually implementing those recommendations? Does the marketing team have to handle it and all the different team members, or there's actual agents within your system that can help you with this? Or
So yeah, everything is human review before. So before everything go outside, there is a human in the loop. So you start, and our mission is to increase and build the company and help them to reach new industry, win their the segment and the category they working in, and to be the recommended and the voice in the answers.
very cool. Sounds like a really interesting product and a needed one.
Thank you.
I wanted to zoom out. So back to the category and the industry you're in, where do you think this goes in the next 1 to 2 years? Is this the category that consolidates into SEO long term, or does it stay its own discipline? What do you think about that?
Fortunately, I didn't visit the future, but
Right.
but but everything develops so rapidly, and it's because of AI and all the minds and everything. And the money is there, the technology, the big brain, so everyone, yeah, the talent, yeah, absolutely. So SEO, it's not dead, and we also optimize for SEO in our platform, because IGEO as a title is I brand performance platform. So we tackle all the performance of the company that make you be in the answer and also be visible in all the other parts, because right now 22% of the traffic and the conversion come from social media still, and AI search it's the number 3, but it's all the time goes higher and higher. So you have a huge trust in this platform. So you can see this one in the conversion. So of course I see it goes higher and higher. The adoption for companies and the rush to this solution is like immediately.
So, okay, last question. If you were advising a global data provider like Techsalerator on staying visible and trusted as AI becomes the front door to information, what would you tell us? Any tips?
Yeah, first of all is on board to our platform and see how you stand up and see all the sources. But I will focus on become a canonical source of the category and markets you cover. Make your data easy to discover, interpret, verify, seeded, and updated. This is the focus thing, and publish clear methodology pages and definition coverage and information like you do. So this is the first part you already cover. And the other part is go and track and see your result, because you do something and you want to measure it, and not to shoot blind. So you do, yeah, you want to create those things and see how many times this content that you create was mentioned. What was the effect of all those things? So I can say for a lot of PR brands that work with us, an agency, that a lot of time they like shoot blind. They create like a lot of articles inside, and they don't want didn't know the effect of this, and now you know, because you can see if this content was seeded or not, was mentioned in the prompt that you're tracking. So this is very important. And the first thing is clean your house, build the right fundamentals to build it outside, and because then it's also going to be easier to AI and for you to create a clear data and all of this. When you hold all your data in your website, it become your informational and your source of truth of your company. And then it's very clear to your customers, to you, and to AI to read your solution and what you are, and then for you to create content, and also to optimize all your other sources and social media and pages. So this is the first thing. So business build around global data. Geo is not only the marketing opportunity, it is the product distribution opportunity. AI agents can become a major interface through which people discover, evaluate, and consume your data. So so
Okay.
it's all about data.
Absolutely. So where should people go to find out more about IGEO?
So
Obviously the
first,
website. Okay.
obviously here, and go to your favorite chat, AI chat, and check and see how it's fit your company needs and what you need from us. And next thing is book a demo with us. Is with igeo.ai/demo, and we help every size of company to conquer AI and to be the leading answer.
Okay. Orel, thank you so much for taking the time.
It was
And
my pleasure. Thank you.
yeah, have a great day and looking forward to seeing everyone next time on our next episode.